there are quite a few foods that one should start introducing in winters. The whole point of diversity of a land like India is that we actually have different foods for summers, winters, monsoon, and even every change of season. We even have festivals that celebrate it. So if you were to ask me for a list, I would surely say आंवले का डोज हर रोज़. तो आंवला for sure, either in the form of a sharbat or a achar or a moramba. Then of course there is til and peanuts, which is also the produce of the season. So either in the form of chutneys or halwas, so either in the form of chutneys or gajak or laddu or vadis, or simply as a little bit of sprinkling on your thepla of til. So that is what I would recommend with both peanuts and til. Then the third thing of course would be bajra, because it is the season of bajra as the millet, and you always end the bajra with a little bit of lasun chutney. So the green lasun is in season, it turns into a delicious chutney. It also lends itself to the flavor of undio, so the green lasun. And I would also recommend jaggery. So this is also the time of sugarcane and jaggery. So make sure that you're including those two. There's a tradition of finishing your bajra meal with your bajra bhakri with jaggery and ghee. So make sure that you're doing that. And lastly, before I forget, it is also very much the season of gajar halwa. So don't miss out on that. And if you don't want to turn gajar into a halwa, you can also turn it into a gajar or a kali gajar ki kanji. Then it's gehat or the horse gram ka time, to gehat parathe ka bhi abhi time chal raha hai. So there are just plenty of foods that we can introduce into our diets, which are nutrient rich, they are flavorful, they celebrate the season, and they are both good for people and planet, for the economy and ecology. So I think it's really time to celebrate winter in its full glory. Well, I think it is a myth that if you ate local, seasonal and traditional food, you would actually be turning fat. You're not going to be turning fat because you ate a gajak in this season or a gond laddu in this season or ate a bajra or bhakri with jaggery and ghee. We turn fat because of what we do on a day-to-day basis. The fact that we are inactive, the fact that we don't have a routine of waking up and sleeping, the fact that we are going through a daily diet which is very, very high on processed foods. So whether it is instant noodles, colas and juices, energy drinks, biscuits, chocolates, you name it, we are just having loads of it on a day-to-day basis. So I think everything that is packaged and processed needs to be put an end to. That is also good for both our local economy and our ecology, because it will keep the waste down. You would be also loading your stomach with lesser processed and harmful ingredients, and you just switch more to the produce of the season. We must remember that our grandmothers had this collective wisdom where even when it came to making things like a gajak or a til laddu, even without wanting us to stay in good shape, they kind of controlled, if I may use that word, the size of the serving. So the til laddu is always small, the gajak is always small in season. If you ate 4, you would know that, oh, I have eaten 4, maybe I should just kind of stop at 2. Same thing with bajra roti. One of the reasons why you're asked to eat it with jaggery and ghee is because it is considered to be heavy. So you already know that you stop at 1 or 2. You also eat it with a green sabzi, you eat it with a light dal. So there are already systems in place to ensure that you don't overeat. Even with a gond laddu, you eat like one tiny laddu one time in the day, much better than eating 2 biscuits every single day of the year. So the safeguards are already in place. Even guidelines of countries like the US or Canada talk about how eating according to our personal preferences, according to our cultural traditions and according to our budgetary constraints is actually a healthy way to eat. So there is no reason for us to kind of discriminate against our own food, against our own avla sharbat and make a choice of cola instead, against our own gajak and eat a chocolate instead, against our own bajra roti and have like a quinoa khichdi instead. So many reasons to just eat local, seasonal, traditional, and to know that these aren't fattening foods. These are just the foods from farms and people who do not have the budgets to project it as healthy or fat burning foods. So maybe they are poor in positioning, but they are not poor in the actual health effects that they have for your body. The top 5 millets that I would suggest for this season would surely be bajra. It would also mean, the kodu millet. Then there is the samo chawal that we eat, which is also called as jhangora in the mountains. Then there is rajgira, that is very, very good for this season. And then there is ragi, which is great for all 12 months of the year. So these would be the millets that I would recommend, but that doesn't mean that jowar and other smaller millets are not good. In fact, in around Sankrant time, around mid-Jan, there is a tradition in Maharashtra to celebrate with hurda parties, or even in Gujarat to celebrate with pork, which is basically nothing but tender jowar. So every millet is celebrated in India in its tender and in its completely ripe forms. But what is important is to have it using the traditional combination and using the traditional method of actually getting together as a community, as a society, as a family, so that we not just have good health for years to come, but we also have harmony and happiness of being together as a diverse society together for years to come. So I think that's really the message of millets, that they mix, and that they mix not just with different foods in a very brilliant and versatile manner, but they actually bring different people together over the same bowl or plate of food.